Hello, my name is Gareth Mills. I work with Code Wizards, and today I will be making a quick video tutorial about how to get a Unity headless server onto PlayFab Multiplayer and connecting a Unity client to that server. We'll start from a newly created PlayFab game. From here we need to go into the Multiplayer tab and enable multiplayer servers. It can take a little bit of time, but just be patient. Once multiplayer has been enabled on your game, you need to go into the quota and enable or change some quota so that you have cores to build with. I would go with 4 just as a starting point because you can change it later, any region, but I went with DAS V4 and North Europe. I set it to 4 so that I have multiple to start with. You can also change the date so it can be started today or in the future. It's up to you. While the new cores are being approved, now would be a good time to do the Unity section. In my case, I've modified the mirror chat example so that instead of being peer-to-peer, it's now the headless server that the clients talk to. That was a quick way for me to show that the clients are communicating with each other through the server. For the rest of the tutorial, I've switched to a different game in PlayFab, which had the same settings, but meant that I didn't have to wait for the approval of the new cores. Once the new cores have been approved, we can start the new build. In my case, I've put the build name as demo and then a version number. I've selected the virtual machine to be the DAS v4 with 2 cores so that I can have multiple running at once. In my case, the Unity server I built was a Windows process, so those are the options I selected. I also enabled the virtual machine metrics, but that is optional. Now we can upload our assets to PlayFab so that it has the components that it needs to run the server. Because of the file structure of the zip file I uploaded, the start command of my instance would be server/demoproject.exe. That tells PlayFab that this is the place that it needs to run the server from. Regions is the area where you select the places where you want your servers to be based in, as well as the number of standby and maximum servers. I've selected East US, 1 standby server and 2 maximum servers. That just means that it will always have 1 server running, and it will have a maximum of 2 servers running at any one time. The network, I'm not sure if it was necessary, but I did it just in case. I added a port that I was sure Mirror would be able to connect to. For this example, I've not used any certificates or metadata, it's just a very simple demo. Now that everything's set up, we can click Add Build, and then it will start PlayFab building our servers. Once the server has started building, or while it's running, on this page you can change the number of standby servers at the maximum as and when you need to. The Details tab gives you a breakdown of the information about your build, including the build ID that Unity will need later. The Usage tab gives you a breakdown of the various different usages of your servers. This can include the regions that you've got it propped up in. In my instance, I only have East US, so the table is fairly short, as well as the average amounts of times that your servers are up. The Servers tab will show you each and every server that is currently running on this build. In my case, I only have the one, but you can see that it is actively running. If you click the drop down on each server, you can see the current state of it, as well as the server ID. From here, we can see that it's standing by and just waiting for clients to connect. Now we can go into Unity and check that our client can connect to our servers. I've created a very simple input box and button. This allows me to input the build ID and connect to the server that we're looking for. As we can see, it's successfully connected to our server, and Mirror has successfully loaded up our user interface. We can send a quick test message to make sure that our messages are going out, but up until now we've got no other clients to receive them. I will go through that now. Since we know that this version of our client works, we'll do a build for it. In my case, I'm running Windows, so I'll do a Windows build, and then we can test it. Now that our client's finished building, we can load up 2 versions of it and make sure they both connect, and then we can communicate between them. Now that both of our clients have connected, we can send a message from each client and make sure that they both receive them. As we can see, the second client received the message from the first, and vice versa. So that was how to use Unity and PlayFab Multiplayer. If you liked our tutorial and want to see more, check out our channel. And if you have any other questions and would like to find out more about what we do, feel free to visit our website.